Hi, Democrats. Today is Friday, May 7th, 2021, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. All righty, so it's been a long week. There's been a lot of stuff going on, good, bad, weird. It's been a long week, and today has been a fitting end with a long day at the end of a long week. So every day I'm going to come and talk to you about bills, elected officials, and elections. I may throw in some other things, but every day my goal is to talk to you about bills, elected, and elections to make sure that you're staying aware of things that are going on. Before I talk about bills, elected, or elections, I do want to talk about kind of what the chair's been up to today. So today we laid to rest one of the very first Democrats who was nice to me when I got involved with the party, and his name was Edward Jones III. Edward was just always around when I first started coming around. He was just always around, and he always just had a nice, kind word. And when I was elected for Secretary of Tulsa County, he came up to me and said, if you need anything. Later in life, Ed got to a point where he wasn't coming to Democrat functions very often, but I would get Facebook messages where he would give me words of encouragement or suggestions on things I should be doing instead. And so I just want to say rest in peace, rest well, Edward Jones III. So directly after that funeral, where we laid to rest a Democrat, I went over and participated in the Unity Over Violence prayer march put on by the Greenwood Arts and Cultural Center here in Tulsa. I didn't get to participate in the march because of the funeral, but I was there for the closing remarks. And I added some closing remarks. I want to note some of the other notable Democrats who were in attendance. I missed John Waldron, Representative John Waldron, and Senator Joanna Dossett, because they were at the first half. I was at the second half, but I was told they were there. But Representative Regina Goodwin, Senator Connie Johnson, Ali Canada of the Affirmative Action Federation, and Cortez Johnson of the African American Federation were in attendance and gave remarks. And it was interesting because it was a prayer march. And as I spoke, I was keenly aware, disturbingly aware of the amount of police presence that was there. Now, I'm not going to say what you think I'm going to say. I wasn't afraid of the police. I wasn't concerned about the police, but they followed the marchers in what they call a box formation. I don't know from a box formation because that's not my life. But what I was told was that they would flank us on the side and from the front and from the back. And when there was time to cross intersections, the police cars drove ahead and blocked the intersections. I've seen this formation before, but I've never seen it with as much police presence as there was today. And so it struck me that they had that amount of police presence because they are aware that the governor signed HB 1674, which is the protecting motorists from running over protesters bill. Now, it doesn't go into effect until November, but they are keenly aware that there are people who are protesters because now, based on the legislation that our Republican-led legislature passed and our governor signed, that it is open season on protesters now. So I want to thank the police for protecting us, and I want to just share my disgust that they had to in the way that they had to. I was also very aware, reminded that I was there to speak. And it's just like our Republican legislature isn't for freedom of speech. And I want to thank Joshua Harris Till for leading the effort of State Question 816, so we can undo HB 1674. We've got to get beyond that bill. We should be able to participate in direct democracy. We should be able to speak our piece, and our legislators who were voted in by us should be strong enough to take it. I don't advocate for violence, but we should be able to speak. It is a First Amendment right. And they're always talking about the Constitution. They tried to get a constitutional, a congressional, what is it? A constitutional convention. They're trying to make high schoolers pass a citizenship test. And at the same time, they are in violation. And so it's a little bit gross and disgusting. Alrighty, it wouldn't be me going live if I didn't talk about HB 1775. As far as I know, the governor hasn't signed it yet, so it's not too late. It's 4:21. There will still be people in the office for the next 39 minutes. It's not too late to call the governor's office and urge him not to sign this bill, urge him to veto 1775. This is the bill that limits what kind of history is taught in our schools and threatens our educators if they go outside those bounds. The governor's number is 405-521-2342. Not too late. Reach out, call, be polite, make sure that they take your name so that they're supposed to be keeping a tally. He spoke earlier this week with clergy, some clergy who were in support of vetoing this bill. And he said, he just doesn't see anything wrong with it and that he's getting tons of calls of support for him to sign this bill. He needs to tell the truth that he's also getting tons of calls for him to not sign this bill. So we need to get as many calls as we can get in there so we can hold the governor accountable to us because that's who he's supposed to represent. Alrighty, so I've done a little sprinkling in with electeds and some bills, and let's talk about elections. This coming Tuesday, May 11th, in various communities in the state, you'll be voting on propositions. Please go out to the state election board, see, put in your name, birthday, see if you have an opportunity to vote coming up on either May 11th, June 8th. Make yourself familiar with those propositions because we have to show up informed at the ballot box. So that's May 11th, and then there's another one on June 8th, and they're not in the same community, but find out which one affects you. On May 22nd, that's 2 weeks from tomorrow. I got it straight now. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow are the conventions for the Stonewall Federation and the Disability Federation. Another opportunity to get involved. You do not have to be a member of the LGBTQIA2S plus community to be a member of Stonewall. You do not have to be a currently disabled person to be a member of the Disability Federation. These are opportunities for you to get involved at the grassroots and make a difference. That's on May 22nd. Go out to our website, okdemocrats.org, click on events and find out how you can get involved there. And then on June 12th, our state convention. That's when we're deciding who is going to be leading our party for the next 2 years. So I want to say something about that. We are coming to the end of what we call organization or reorganization. This is where we elect our new leaders, and we do this every 2 years. And this is the first year where most of that organizing is online. And people are getting antsy, and people want to be in front of people. I want to urge all of you who are watching, who participate in this reorg process, that we're Democrats. And there's been a lot of divisive things said in the course of this election. There have been a lot of mudslinging in the course of this election. And I'm not even talking about the candidates. I'm really talking about those of you who support us. I am grateful for the support. And I am sure that I speak for Mr. Cummings and Ms. Byrd. We are grateful to those of you who support us. I'm going to ask, as the current chair, I'm going to ask everyone to be kind. And remember, at the end of all of this, we're still Democrats and we're still going to need to work together. So I'm going to ask everybody to please turn the rhetoric down just a bit. We all appreciate your support. I'm grateful that you're as involved as you are and you know the issues that are important. But let's be kind. All righty. You guys have a great weekend. I will be back Monday at 4:15. Do something good this weekend. Thanks.